Goose, how'd you do that? How'd you get in here first, Groovy Goose? That's impressive. That is impressive stuff, Groovy Goose. You just fly in. Nick, how's it going? Good to see you. Amazing, you have notifications turned on. That's pretty impressive stuff. How's everybody doing? How's it going, y'all? Sure, I got a black guitar but a navy suit. That doesn't really match. Eric's dressed up for the draft. No, but there's kind of a theme there. There's kind of a theme. So I just got done date, Eric. Yeah, no, my date got canceled, so that's why we're here. No, I actually am dressed up because I just got done wrapping up filming a video for tomorrow. Thank you, Canadian Bacon. Christopher Bell being in the top 10. Or did he fall? Chris Bell being in, I don't know who Chris Bell. Christopher Bell or Chris Bell? Chris Bell, I haven't been paying attention to the NFL draft, if that's what that's a reference to. But I'm filming a video. I was just filming a video for tomorrow that's related to the NFL draft, but obviously has a NASCAR twist to it. So that's why I'm dressed up, because I like to get into character. I like to get into character for that. Yeah, I just wear a suit around the house. How's it going, y'all? Sorry, I was just letting people just sort of pop in, just kind of hanging out. Christopher Bell was or is in the top 10 drivers. Are you asking, like, my opinion on Christopher Bell? I don't think he's a top 10 driver in NASCAR today. At least not, like, NASCAR driver. I think he's a great overall driver. He might be all around because of how good he is in dirt. Are you asking if he's top 10 in points? Because I think he might be, actually. He might be, like, 10th or 11th. But I'm not certain. I'm not for sure on that. Thank you, Steven Gibson. Play some Foo Fighters. I don't know if I know any Foo Fighters. I don't know that I can. I play guitar, want to start a band. Let's do it, Groovy Goose. You got to be on the horns, Groovy Goose. Get it? Because you honk like a goose. No, forget it. That's terrible. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate it. Yeah. So those just tuning in, I'm wearing the suit because I was filming something with the suit that you guys will see tomorrow, but I thought it would be kind of funny. I was thinking of doing a stream tonight anyways, and I thought it would be funny if I turned it on with the suit. And then I was waiting for people to show up, so I was just kind of jamming. I don't have NASCAR Heat Evolution anymore, at least it's on my... I don't know where that game is, so I couldn't stream that if I wanted to. I will be at Coda, yes. I did talk a little bit about the All-Star format in today's video. I'm not planning to be at the All-Star race, but I might go. We'll see how my schedule works out. I'm pretty busy around that time with some other NASCAR-related scheduling stuff. But in a nutshell, I just, I'm not against gimmicks and just throwing a bunch of stuff at the All-Star race. I just feel like they threw too much at once. They threw everything at this All-Star race. It's just going to be confusing, you know? I live about 3.5, 4 hours away from Texas Motor Speedway. It's the closest. Actually, no, Coda's the closest track to me. Coda's like 2.5 hours away. Thank you, Bush Brothers fan. I appreciate the dollar. Yes, I have seen Ricky Stenhouse's throwback car. That's a rough go of it. It's actually not a bad looking car if it was just by itself. Like, you know, the blue Kroger colors with then like the orange and yellow tied. Like it's trying to do a lot, but I kind of like it because I like all those colors. You know, it's bright. But them trying to pretend like, oh, this is a nod to the old like Ricky Craven car. Like just no. Just say it's the Kroger and Tide car. Don't even pretend this is a throwback. There's nothing about the car that looks like any of the classic Tide cars. There's nothing there. The pattern's wrong. Everything about it is wrong. So to try and call that a throwback, you just no. Like, just say, we're not doing a throwback. Kroger and Tide just wanted to do this car. Like, just say it. Like, nobody's going to give you that much crap for it, but to pretend that was a throwback, oh, my God. Oh, jeez. Goodness. I've seen a lot of the throwbacks. I want to save some of my throwback takes and opinions for next week's, an episode next week where I'll go through pretty much all of them and look at them and give you guys my thoughts. But those of you here for the live stream, you guys are going above and beyond. I'll give you a sneak peek. Blaney's throwback, I think it looks cool. I was a throwback to like his first like super late model or something, right? I saw Larson's throwing it back to like one of his first like sprint cars. Like I kind of like drivers throwing it back to themselves, but Blaney and Larson are not even 30. So, I mean, Eric Jones did it a couple years ago too. He threw back to his like first ever race car or something. It's like, that's kind of fun, but I don't know. It's more fun when like if an older driver does it, it makes a little more sense. But anyway, they look cool. They look fine. I'm looking snazzy because I was filming a video before we went live, and I thought I'd leave it on for the stream. Thank you, Groovy Goose. Is the tower at Coda a step ladder for you? I climbed to the top of that thing once, and I was exhausted. So no, I get the joke. Yeah, I am very tall, but trying to hike up all those stairs sucks. I don't know. I don't remember why. When I was there, they wouldn't let you go up the elevator. I didn't understand why. So I had to go up the stairs, and they like wrap around all the way up like a stripe on a candy cane. God, it was exhausting. I'm like losing my breath even just thinking about it. Thank you, Scrapyard. I appreciate it. The biggest stinker, in my opinion, so far, as far as the throwbacks, is probably Truex's. Yeah, didn't they try to say that was like a Furniture Row throwback? No, it wasn't. Nuh-uh. I think that's what I saw. Maybe that's not what it was, but I thought that's what I saw somebody say it was supposed to be. It's just like all black, isn't it? It's just like all black with the Auto Trader or Auto Owners logo, whatever the sponsor is. Yeah, that's kind of lame. Thank you, Steven. Best throwback car to me is that 26 Xfinity car doing the Hot Wheels, the Kyle Petty Hot Wheels car. Yeah, that is fantastic. No, there's been a couple sort of, I think one car has a Hot Wheels on their car, but then it's ironically a different team without Hot Wheels that's doing the better Hot Wheels throwback. But yeah, that car does look really good. I know which one you're talking about. Thank you, Castaway Austin, for the keeping it 100. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I think this is out of tune. I'm not good at tuning a guitar like this. It always takes me forever because I keep screwing each note up. I do not know how to play the national anthem, no. On this, no. And somebody asked what other instruments I play. I barely play guitar. I barely play bass guitar. I played clarinet in middle school for 3 years, if that counts. So I'm basically Beethoven. Not to brag, I'm basically, Ludwig von Beethoven. Oh, gosh. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We're just hanging out here tonight. This is a super casual stream. I was exhausted earlier. And I didn't want to watch the NFL draft. And I knew that's all anyone on like Twitter, freaking YouTube, anyone would be talking about was freaking the NFL draft. I think honestly, like the NFL draft is a bigger deal I get than like say the NBA draft or like the MLB draft. Like baseball, there's like a million rounds, and like the first overall pick in the MLB draft, like doesn't even necessarily mean they're going to play for the team that drafts them. You know, like, oh, I got drafted, but I don't care. I'm going to go to college instead, like a responsible person. Like, what are they thinking? So it's like, oh, the New York Mets draft so-and-so at the first overall pick, and then they don't actually sign him. So then like 2 years later, he gets drafted again. It's like, well, it's kind of, baseball draft is not entertaining. Like, it's important, but it's not entertaining. The NFL draft, they make it into such a huge event, and I just think it's weird. I just think that's a little bit weird, especially because it feels like everyone already knows who's going to get drafted to who, like, a couple days beforehand. Like, have there been any surprises tonight? Did Trevor Lawrence go first? Anyway, what races do you plan to go to this year? I will be at Circuit of the Americas next month, and then I will be at Nashville Super Speedway and Road America. Those are the three I will for sure be at. Other than that, we'll see. We'll kind of just see how the year goes. I don't know any of these names. Mac Jones. Is he a quarterback? I think he's a quarterback. Trey Lance is probably a player. I don't know who that is. Trevor Lawrence went to the Jaguars. All right, good for them. J.C. Horn. I don't know who that is. I don't know any of these players. I don't keep up with college sports or really pro football either. Did you see Larson's throwback? Yeah. And I wanted to raise a point on that. Any big dirt fans in the chat, like huge like sprint cars or just dirt racing fans, period? Like, do y'all like it when, because he's throwing it back to a scheme that used to run on his sprint car when he was younger. And so, like, obviously a sprint car doesn't look anything like a NASCAR Cup Series car, so the paint scheme doesn't really translate very well. He just is running like a kind of reddish car, right? I looked at it once. It was like red, had red or orange or something on it. I mean, it looks good, but it's like it doesn't make me think of a sprint car, So I just wonder, dirt fans, do you guys like when you see these drivers throw back to sprint car schemes or midget car schemes like that? Like, does it actually? I'm more of a sand person myself, but dirt is okay. I like that. It's a funny comment. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It feels like it's kind of a waste to me, but because the throwback weekend, throwing it back to NASCAR. Because NASCAR schemes look best on NASCAR cars. It's I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me, but it looks good. And if you're a big Larson fan, or if you're Larson himself, I'm sure you like it. It's pretty cool. It has sentimental and meaningful value. Thank you for the big super chat, Cameron. My goodness, with the 28 Canadian dollars. Thank you, Cameron. I know the three new manufacturers everyone wants are Dodge, Nissan, and Honda, but I think it's more likely that one of them will be Mazda because they already have a presence in NASCAR in the NASCAR Peak Mexico Series. Thoughts? I hadn't even thought of that. I definitely think Honda is the first one. I think a lot of people want Dodge. I don't think Dodge is ever coming back to NASCAR, at least not anytime soon. Nissan's an interesting one, but Mazda is not one I've heard really mentioned that much. No, that's an interesting theory. What other manufacturers are in the Peak Mexico Series? Because I assume they have like a lot of the ones. NASCAR, because I'm not that familiar. Peak Mexico Series manufacturers. I don't know what to Google here. Did I spell that right? Chevrolet, Ford, Toyota, Mazda, and Dodge. They have Dodge there. Well, it's still doesn't mean anything. They're not going to bring Dodge to the Cup Series. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even know they had Mazdas there. That's wild. But chat, what do you guys think? Do you think, Miata, you could see Miata in cut. There you go. Them running Miatas out there. Hey, you can, I see Ben's comment saying that Dodge should get back into NASCAR with Challenger, Ram. I'm just I think we did this once on a stream. Let's look up best, I don't know how to phrase it, best selling car brands. Let's just say even in just America. And if we most popular, vehicle sales, what am I trying to say? Vehicle sales in the U.S. in 2020. Oh my gosh, no, get this out of here. It's if we look, it's Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet, Honda, by far the 4 best-selling car brands in America. And then you got like Nissan, Jeep. Then there's Ram, but it's much further down. Hyundai, Subaru, Kia, GMC, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Tesla, BMW. This chart I'm looking at doesn't even have Dodge on it. Dodge is below Tesla and BMW. So my problem is Dodge just doesn't sell enough cars. They just don't have enough money to get into the NASCAR world again, is what I think. They just don't have the money to invest straight up. Now this is leading car brands. Wait, I just realized this chart I looked at is wrong. This chart I looked at is just saying how many cars are on the road. I want to know how many cars were bought last year. Forget it. So that last chart was a little bit misleading, but still, I guess there's not that many Dodges on the road. So I guess it still kind of proves my point, but that's not what I meant to look up. I got misled by that article. But still, point remains is Dodge is not one of the best-selling cars in America these days. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate it. Winner of this year's Slinger Nationals will get to do an SRX race. I think that's pretty neat. Yeah, I think it's cool that they're opening up some spots to local champions, local talent. I wonder if the Slinger Nationals will attract some bigger names, some heavy hitters from the super late model world for that very reason. I know Ty Majeski will be tough to beat. I assume he's racing in it. It feels like he races in it almost every year, and I think he won it last year, so watch out for him. Thank you, Scrapyard, another one I appreciate. Somewhere up here where they're playing football, which, who cares? Larry McReynolds' son. Larry McReynolds loves football. Is he Alabama or Auburn? He's Alabama, I believe. I feel like that's like, if I get that wrong, he's gonna like show up at my door and be like, "How dare you? I'm an Alabama fan." You know. But yeah, no, Larry McReynolds, great quotes. Thank you, Steven. Why Hendrick, no Labonte Schrader throwbacks? Who are they throwing it back to? They got that Neil Bonnet one for Byron. Chase is throwing it back to Kulwicki. Has Bowman done a throwback yet, or the other Hendrick Larson's throwing it back to himself. I don't know who Bowman is. Who's Bowman throwing it back to? I already forgot if they've even announced it. Thank you, Galaxy Gal. I appreciate it. Do you think CBS is going to make a run for the first half of the Cup/Xfinity season? It's early to say. We'll see. I think they're definitely making a run at IndyCar, and I think there's a very decent chance they get IndyCar in some capacity. But we're still 4 years away from a new Cup contract. I mean, they'll be negotiating it in the next couple of years, sure, but I think they could. We were talking about this, I think, on the podcast last night about the difficulty of balancing NASCAR and the NFL season, which the NFL is the second half of the year. And both Fox and CBS, I believe, will still have their hands all over the NFL come 2024 and 25 and everything. So for them, they're going to want the first half of the NASCAR season, but only one of them can theoretically get it. Unless, I think Jarrett mentioned last night, what if Fox gets the first 12 races, CBS gets the summer races, they get 12 races, kind of almost like TNT had a few years ago recently, and then still NBC gets the second half. Maybe that happens. But I feel like both CBS and Fox are going to want the first half, and probably only one is going to get it. So CBS will probably be in the running. I think when they announced they're hiring Alan Bestwick, Matt Yoakum, Lindsey Zarniak, bringing Danica and others in for the SRX stuff, they are showing that they're taking motorsport seriously. But it's still a few years away, or a couple of years away at the very least. We'll see what changes. Appreciate all the compliments on my suit. Thank you. Yes, it's very nice. If I stand up, y'all will be very disappointed. Thank you, GN. Eric, I sent you an Amazon gift. Oh, well, thank you. To your P.O. box. Check the podcast Gmail. Just a heads up so you aren't confused on who it's from. Hint you'll like it as a 17 fan. Oh, well, I'm very excited. Well, thank you, GN. I will be checking my P.O. box very soon, hoping to see it. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate everyone who's been sending things to that P.O. box. Appreciate the letters. Packages are cool as well. You guys are amazing, and I hope you all have enjoyed the videos as well. I want to do something even bigger and more special with a lot of the stuff you guys have sent me as well in the coming future, but I'm not entirely sure what yet. But I appreciate that, GN, very, very much. Thank you. I'm looking forward to finding it. Thank you, Adam Smith. Hello, Eric. Very dapper today. Indeed. Very dapper. Yes, I'm not even wearing headphones. I'm not ruining the illusion. I'm going just as dapper as it gets. I unbuttoned my suit, though, slightly because it was getting all binded up by sitting in the chair. If I stand up, though, you guys will be disappointed in me. Did I button this right? Yeah. I'm just wearing shorts underneath. You guys, yeah. Yeah, baby. Very professional. You guys know when I film Out of the Groove, I'm almost always wearing basketball shorts. I might be wearing like a nice like flannel shirt or a polo shirt, like something a little bit nicer, but I'm 99.9%. I'm not just in my underwear. I'm not that guy, but I'm almost always wearing basketball shorts underneath. And the same basically goes for the for streams more often than not. But thank you, Adam, and thank you, Otis, for the $1. I appreciate that. You're going to the All-Star race, KB Fan 18. I hope you have a good time. Hope you're able to keep up with everything that's happening. That's right. Bowman's doing a throwback to Greg Ives' late model. That's right. I forgot about that. That's cool. That's an interesting one. Isn't it like all blue, kind of like a teal? I know you guys are getting a little behind the scenes sneak peek here of how I do Out of the Groove. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. I'm usually never wearing shoes. So there's another detail. I'm probably 100% of the time barefoot. I had a stroke reading the All-Star format. It was a lot. It was certainly a lot to try and take in, to try and swallow all at once. A lot of information to digest. When it came out yesterday, I was like, God, people are going to want me to talk about that in a video. And I really didn't want to because I didn't have anything to say about it. It just gave me a headache to even think about it. I couldn't sleep last night because in my head, the freaking invert math and stuff was spinning in my head. I'm like, what are they going to do inverts after which stage? And then what? Oh, not stages, they're rounds. Oh my goodness. Christopher Bell and DeWalt should do Kenseth's rookie year. See, we've already seen that throwback recently. It's on my shelf over there. You know, we've seen that too recently. Like it would probably just look exactly like this, except it would say Christopher Bell on the window instead of Kenseth. I mean, this looks super cool. This looks nice, but they've already done it recently. So I would love to see a DeWalt throwback to something Kenseth. I'd love to see them throw back to the championship scheme from 2003. That's one that would be cool to see. I'm in a suit because I was filming a video before I went live. So this is a teaser for tomorrow's episode. You guys aren't going to want to miss it. It's quite special, quite exciting. I'm going to be up all night editing it, which is not as exciting. Thank you, Timothy's Random Stuff. At Talladega, I got the Chase Elliott Champion winning diecast. Heck yeah. I love scouring the merchandise haulers at the racetrack for cool finds. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, Chase Elliott's championship car looked very sharp last year, especially with the neon yellow numbers. Tuck your shirt in? No, we're okay. We're chilling. We're good. Not doing that. Look like a NASCAR commentator? Yeah, actually, I kind of do. Yeah. How about that? Use my green screen, or this side, use a green screen for the full effect if I had something to put back there. Byron's throwback is really good. I agree. The Valvoline, when you get the sponsor right, not just the colors, the only thing they got wrong is the number, but I'll let that slide. At least they even changed the font. They changed the font. They got the colors exactly right, the pattern exactly right, the sponsor exactly. That's big. That's good stuff. That's great. Start commentating right now. I got nothing to commentate. That's a tough one. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate the super chat. Is Denny Hamlin the championship favorite? He'd be mine right now. He hasn't won this year, and I'm not convinced he's going to win in the biggest, most pressure-packed moment, but I at the very least know that he's going to show up. They're going to be good. They're going to be a top three. They're going to have a shot at it. You know, some years there's at least one Championship 4 driver that kind of lags behind, that runs like ninth. Not last year. Last year they all pretty much ran top 4, but some years there's a guy who runs like ninth. That wouldn't be Denny Hamlin. He might lose, but he's not going to lose because he's slow. He's going to lose because he makes a dumb mistake in the closing stretch or something. Thank you, Groovy Goose. Will the video be an audition for Shark Tank? Now, I told you guys what the video is going to be. It's similar to it's themed around the draft. So I'm basically doing my own version of a draft, but it's a NASCAR draft. So I'm playing the role, some role play involved. Very exciting. I'm playing the role of a brand new NASCAR team owner, and I'm going to give you guys my list of top prospects, where if I had free range, if I could pick any driver to drive for me I wanted, this is the list. This is the order I would go down the line and pick from. So you guys are going to find out who I believe the top prospects are, who I believe is lagging behind a little bit tomorrow. I think it'll be fun. But we're fully themed for it, so it's going to be good times. Yeah, no Kyle Busch rap sequel. I won't be wearing a suit for that. No, fire suit maybe. Eric pitches out of the groove to Shark Tank. That's funny. You know what videos I've been obsessed with? So total tangent. I've been obsessed with these videos for the last like week. What's the YouTube channel? It's one of those big like movie YouTube channels, not Watch Mojo, but it's Screen Rant. The pitch meetings. If you go to YouTube and look at pitch meetings, so this dude, I forget his name, has done like a million of these like, you know, skits for like a bunch of popular movies. They're so funny. But that's how it looks right now. I feel like I could do one of those right now. But I just pitch out of the groove. It's fantastic stuff. I don't know anything about the channel. I just found one of the videos and then I binged like 100 of them in the last like 5 days. So I've not been very productive the last few days. Goes without saying. Thank you, Race Champ 22. What is your opinion on the JTG Craven throwback? See, it's not even a throwback. See, I think the car actually looks decent. Ryan George, that's the guy from Screen Rant. That's the guy who does the pitch meetings. They're funny. Anyway, he's very funny. No, it's not even a throwback. See, if they didn't bill it as a throwback, if it was any other race, if they just said, oh yeah, we got Kroger in the front and it's going to be blue, and then on the back it's going to be kind of orange and white and yellow, you know, and it's going to be tied on the back. I'd be like, hey, that's kind of cool. I mean, it's a lot of colors, trying to do a little too much maybe, but I like all those colors. That's a cool looking car. But for them to have the audacity to bill it as, oh, it's an homage, it's a nod to Ricky Craven. No, it's not. They had the audacity to they had the balls, they had the stones to put a little photo of the actual Ricky Craven Tide Ride car next to this abomination. It's just so we could all easily see for ourselves that they look nothing alike. So it's not a bad looking car, but they made a huge mistake pretending it's a throwback. Like, just admit that, hey, our sponsors wanted this weekend. They didn't want to do a throwback. Like, that's fine. Like, you get a little bit of crap maybe, but nothing serious. Just do it. I don't know. But pretending that that's a throwback when it's clearly not. The thing is, we've seen Matt Kenseth did a Ricky Craven, or it was a throwback to a couple different drivers, but all their schemes kind of looked similar. So it was a throwback to all of them. You know, Matt Kenseth did one. And I think we've had other drivers do one. I think didn't Go Fast Racing do one a few years ago as well? I don't remember who the driver was at the time. Might have been Detto. Yeah, the audacity, yeah. Thank you, Slice of Anime. I appreciate it. You got $50 betting on which Hendrick car gets to the Final Four. Where would you put your money? I'd have 20 on Larson, 20 on Byron, 10 on Chase, 0 on Bowman. Ooh, you're selling Bowman kind of short. Ooh, this is a good question, though. Let's see. I'm in a suit, so I'm a high roller. I'm going all in. No, I'm not going to go all in. But I'm putting a lot of money on Larson. I like where Larson's at. I like the consistent speed they seem to have. Well, they sucked at Richmond. But Richmond's in the first round. I think he'll have enough playoff points that he can sneak through the first round and be okay. So I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to put $30 on Larson, and then I'll put 10 on Chase because I think they're going to get faster as the year goes on. I'm not sold yet that Byron's super consistent streak is going to last the whole season, so I'm going to put 5 on Willie B and 5 on Bowman. Split the difference there. So there we go. So I'm going all in on Larson. Larson would be my top pick of all the Hendrick cars right now. That's a good question, though. I like that one. Easy math, unlike the Texas All-Star race. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate it. So I don't know if y'all saw it on the broadcast, but I was at Dega, and that tape debris was from Denny's crew. They just let the trash go. I watched it. Wait, so the big piece of the Bear Bond adhesive thing that was on, was it Blaney's car that got stuck to his? That just came from Hamlin's crew? That's funny. Well, that is, I doubt, I mean, I don't know how that, so what, did they like fold it up like a paper airplane and throw it so it would intentionally get on Blaney's grill? I doubt they could possibly have done that. But they just literally just threw it out onto the track. That's pretty wacky. That's pretty goofy. Yes, you say yes. All right, well, geez. I don't think there's any way they could have intentionally aimed that at a certain car or driver, but maybe they could. Maybe they're just being careless. Maybe there's a big gust of wind and they just lost the grip on it and went flying out into the straightaway. That's funny, though. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it. I'm going to the first SRX race. Have fun. That's the one in Connecticut, right? Stafford. Have fun, man. I hope it's a good time. I will be watching it on TV. I don't currently have plans to go to any of the SRX races. I was hoping it would maybe work out that I could go to the race at Slinger, but I'm going to be in Wisconsin like a week or two beforehand for the Road America race, but I can't justify staying in Wisconsin for like an extra week to watch this race. I just can't justify. I've been on the road for like 3 weeks before that. I can't spend another week out on the road. Not in Wisconsin. All due respect to Wisconsin. Wisconsin, there's a lot of good in Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin. But I can't hang out in Wisconsin for a week just for an SRX race, unfortunately. But I'm sure that one will be fun. Maybe I'll get the chance to go to a different SRX race at some point, but we'll see. Don't currently have plans. Eric in a suite. Although this room feels like a suite. I got all my goodies in here. Yeah, Hamlin's throwback looks nice with the red Sport Clips color. Thank you, Edible Giraffe. I appreciate it. And Joey Logano officially joins the club of NASCAR drivers who have flipped more than once. Logano hadn't flipped since like Dover, like 2009 or whenever it was. Right? That was his first flip in like 12 years. But he does. That is not wrong. Logano has now flipped more than once. He might have flipped an Xfinity or something at some point. I don't know. Someone can remind me. But I just remember that Home Depot scheme he was rocking when he went flying, just tumbling off the banking. Yeah, it was 2009. Can you sell me a used car? Oh, come on. This is a nice suit. I'm selling you a new car. Thank you, Owen, for the 2. I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate it, Owen. And thank you, Steven. What would be your dream throwback scheme? For me, it would be the Biff's National Guard car. Ooh. Actually, that reminds me. Someone posted on Twitter a kind of a collage of some of Greg Biffle's paint schemes the other day, like from mid-2000 paint schemes for the most part. And, I forget, Biffle had some really great schemes. But he posted one of, I think it was his 2003 Granger car. It was like black with like orange flames. And I tweeted this because it made me think at the time, but that might be the first car or paint scheme I have any memory of. Like, I started watching NASCAR in 2004, but also around the same time I started playing NASCAR Thunder 2004, which mostly had 2003 paint schemes. And I remember one of the first paint schemes, it might have been the first time I ever picked up that game, I played as Biffle in the 16 Granger car. And that was one of the first diecasts I had too. I had a little 164 scale Granger car. So that might be the earliest specific paint scheme that I have a memory of, is that Granger car. So honestly, that'd be a cool throwback, especially because I don't think they don't have the sponsor anymore. But a couple years ago, Granger, I think was, at least a few years ago, Granger was still with Ryan Newman. It would have been cool if they'd done a Biffle throwback during that era, but oh well. It would have been weird because I think Biffle was still racing, and I don't know, that would have been a little weird. But actually, yeah, that'd be a cool one. Screw it. I'll go with a Biffle car as well, the Granger car from 2003. I'll rock and roll with that one. What's your Chick-fil-A meal? I usually just get nuggets and fries. Usually get a shake. With those shorts, you're for sure selling a used car. Oh, you got me. That's funny. Thank you, Cameron. Appreciate the super chat. How would you feel if someone made an SRX-like series, but for road courses? I think it'd be cool. Like similar cars still? I think that'd be cool. I mean, I don't know if it would be as... I haven't given it any thought. The draw of the SRX is they're giving short track racing national TV time. I know it's big names. I know it's not like grassroots short track racing, sure, but like the tracks themselves are. The fact that Stafford Motor Speedway, that Nashville Fairground Speedway, that Slinger Speedway, that Knoxville, the fact that those tracks are going to get real TV time on network national TV is a pretty big deal. That's not common for short tracks. Road courses do get plenty of TV time. Like, I feel like there are grassroots road courses out there, but a lot of the biggest, nicest facilities already get NASCAR, already get IndyCar. Outside the United States, they get Formula One, perhaps. I mean, there's plenty that don't, I suppose. There's certainly plenty out there that don't get the attention they maybe deserve. So that it still might be worthwhile. But I don't know. I feel like that's the big thing with the SRX is it's a love letter to short tracks and short track racing. And I don't know that road course racing is quite in need of the same thing. And I feel like there are other big road course series out there. But I don't know. Maybe they could do something with it. I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm just saying how it might not fit as well. I don't know. That wasn't a very good answer to that question because I just never thought about that. Can you play that guitar? I was playing it a little bit earlier. Maybe I'll play it in a little while. I like to intro and outro the streams with some guitar when I'm bored. Thank you, Race Champ 22. Simulate an entire NASCAR Thunder 2003 or 4 career. That could be interesting. I remember like in those games, Ryan Newman was always really fast. I guess because that's because he won a lot of races in 03, so they programmed him to be like a 99 overall in Thunder 2004. I have to fire up my old PS2, figure out how to capture the gameplay, and also make sure the PS2 still works beforehand. But that's not a bad idea. NASCAR Thunder was great, man. Did you create the Out of the Groove intro? Yes, I did. I mean, all the clips you see in the Out of the Groove intro were shot by me at different racetracks over the years. And then like the little graphic and stuff that I added recently, that was also me. Thank you, Freddie. Now the music is not me. The music is a very is one of the YouTube provided background songs. Who is texting me? Don't they know I'm streaming? I'm hanging out with 300 of my bestest buds in the whole world. Get out of here. Kenseth is so bad. Sorry, not sorry. Get him out of here. Oh, hold on. I'm timing him out. I'm putting him in timeout. You can't come into my stream and say things like that without getting put in a 5-minute timeout. Put in the penalty box. Hate to see it. Thank you, Freddie. I appreciate it. Today was Dale Sr.'s 70th birthday. If he was still here, what do you think his presence in NASCAR would be? Championship owner, commenter, other? You wonder about the future of DEI, of course, if he were still around. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think he certainly would still be involved with the sport in a big way. I'm sure he would still be involved, probably as a team owner. He was I never saw him race live, or I was not a fan during his era. I've had to go back and kind of read and watch, kind of secondhand. But he was such a tremendous competitor. I'm sure he would still be wanting to do something competitive. He might be in TV, he might be radio, he might even do something like that, but that's not necessarily as competitive as actually contributing to what happens on the racetrack. And I think he would probably gravitate more towards that. But I don't know, Dale Earnhardt might have also been the kind of guy to wrap up his racing career and then kind of take a step back for a while. I'm not really sure what he would prefer to do, but definitely important today, what would have been his 70th birthday. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate it. Cameron Hearn. How can NASCAR get new talent who isn't related to an owner or former racer's son or someone who is the son of a businessman? Yeah, that's kind of how it feels these days. You get a lot of drivers that come from inherited money or are kind of born into a very beneficial situation. That's true. I think we're fortunate that some of these drivers or owners' sons or things like that are actually really talented. Like, Chase Elliott, driver's son, obviously really talented. I think there's something to be said that, kids who grow up in NASCAR families naturally get put in a race car younger than most other kids do, naturally get more seat time, more track time, and probably better insight than your average kid who doesn't have connections to the sport does. So while certainly there's the money aspect, many of these kids come from more money than an average kid. I think, if you're the son of Bill Elliott, you're probably going to be taught a thing or two from a very young age, and it's going to carry with you. That's going to help you learn and grow faster than a kid who doesn't have Bill Elliott or someone like that as a resource. So, I think, more focus on short track racing, grassroots racing is where you can really find talent like, say, a Josh Berry, who did not have those kind of connections. Eventually, I guess he kind of made that connection with Dale Jr. They're not related or anything like that, but they are, they have a relationship together. But, that only became generated because Dale Jr. discovered how good he was. So Josh Berry, there are those stories still out there. But I think you need to put more of a focus on short track racing, real world short track racing for sure, if you're going to consistently get away from, just rich kids getting rides. I don't mean to say that's a bad thing. Like, there are rich kids that are talented. I'm a big Ty Gibbs fan. I think Ty Gibbs is legit. I mean, he's the grandson of Joe Gibbs, so you can't say he hasn't had some help and some connections at certain points, but he's genuinely, I think, very talented at the same time. So, just being rich doesn't mean you suck and that you're only here because you're rich. Like, most of the rich kids have talent as well. But I don't know the best answer. I'm sure if there was a clear answer to that question, someone would have figured it out already and probably written a book on it. I don't know if that book exists. Thank you, Dustin. Pick for Sunday. Who did I go with? Larson. I picked Larson. Been really fast at all the mile and a halves already this season. Had a bad couple of weeks. I think he bounces back. Thank you, Otis. I appreciate it. How would Junior and Boyer be in the booth together? I think they'd be okay. I think Clint Boyer's been pretty good this year. I think, when he's speaking off the cuff and energetic, I think he's great. When he's sort of being fed lines or prompted too heavily, I think it feels a little too cringe, a little campy. But more often than not, I think Boyer's been good this year. And then Dale Jr. kind of is the same thing. I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is best when he's laid back and just in the moment. So if you put both of them together, they kind of both fill the same role. It might be a little too much of one thing. Like there may not be enough difference there. They might almost be like the same person. So I don't know if they'd work great together. I think right now having Dale Jr. in the NBC booth and having Boyer with Fox really helps their respective booths more than they'd help each other. That's what I would say. Thank you, Blake, for the 5. I appreciate it. I do think if he was still alive, Dale Jr. would have a championship or two. For sure, if they'd continue to have that support, he might have raced in the 8 car for many, many more years. And maybe he wouldn't have had quite the long winless streak he had during some of his Hendrick tenure. Thank you, Barrett. I appreciate the super chat. Picks for F1 this weekend. It's Portugal. I don't really watch Formula One. I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton. Chat. Who do you guys think wins the F1 race? Those of you who watch F1 more closely than I do. I do not watch Formula One very much. Sorry, Barrett. I'm going to go with the safe pick. Going with Lewis Hamilton. Who was fast last week? Was Verstappen? Who won last week? It wasn't Hamilton didn't win last week. Who won last week? It was it Max Verstappen who won last week? Who won last week? I don't even know. Waiting for the chat, who's a few seconds behind. Who won, chat? Maybe the chat's more delayed than I thought. Usually it's on like a 4-second delay. Okay, it was Max Verstappen. That's what I thought. Thank you, chat. Yeah, so most people are saying Lewis or Max. So I'll go with the chat and also with my gut. Thank you, TJ Arnold. I appreciate the super chat. If you could pick one driver who failed to live up to the hype and restart their career, who would it be and why? Oh, man. I'm curious to hear the all of your reactions to this one. Give me some ideas. That's a tough one. Like their drivers, well, I mean, there are drivers who injuries or even, tragedies cut their career short that you wish there was a way you could go back in time and like the butterfly effect, just, one little change one day, years earlier changes the future so that tragedy doesn't happen. Like, I don't know. I wish, there's some of the obvious ones like that for sure. There are drivers like, I don't know. Chat says Jeremy Mayfield. Yeah, well, Mayfield, his early exit from the Cup Series was maybe fair. Some of y'all saying Danica Patrick. I mean, if I could go back, I'd tell Danica, or I'd try to hope Danica didn't rush into the Cup Series after like not even one full season of Xfinity. That's a tough question, man. I really don't know. I want to give this a better answer. I want to really think because I feel like there's one that's going to hit me. Like there are drivers that maybe underachieved, but I don't know if like a fresh reset would have made things much better. Like a Steve Park maybe, or a Michael Waltrip even, who took 400 plus races to win his first race. But like I don't know what happens differently. A lot of people in the chat saying Ricky Craven. A lot of people still saying Danica. See, Adam Petty obviously fits into the category of the Davey Allisons, the Alan Kulwicki's, drivers whose careers were tragically cut short. But I don't know how you go back in time and reset that years in advance, Dylan Kwasniewski. Now that's a name I haven't been as familiar with in a while. That's a really good question. You stumped me, but you got a lot of really interesting comments in the chat. See, I see some people say Casey Kane. See, Casey Kane, when he got into the Cup Series, he was on fire. Won a ton of races his first couple of years and then cooled off. So I wouldn't reset his career. I would figure out how to keep his career on the same trajectory it was at the beginning. But I don't know how to do that. That's a good question though, TJ. Stumped us. Definitely made everyone think. Got a lot of wide fluctuations in the chat there. Thank you, Stephen Gibson. Maybe in very few here, but Topco Road Course. Trucks used to run should take one Kansas date. I assume Topeka Road Course? I'm not familiar. I'd love to see more road courses on the Truck Series schedule, though. I'd love anything that makes the trucks more exciting, or makes it more different, I guess. But it's the Topeka Road Course. Yes, correct. Yeah, I remember that track. I'd be interested in seeing it, because I guess that was in Kansas. I don't remember much about it. I just know the name. Trying to think of what other road courses are around Kansas. I mean, none that trucks or any NASCAR series race at. So that'd be special. I don't know enough about the facility, though, to know if it would be realistic, that they could realistically fit a crowd there, or how it would work. But I like anything that makes the trucks feel very different than Cup, especially Cup. Although these days with so many, now Cup is doing dirt, Cup's doing road courses. Like now, honestly, just doing ovals would make trucks unique. So I don't know the answer to that one. Let me look up the Topeka Road Course. I just want to familiarize myself with the layout. Okay. That's an interesting layout. It's a 2.5 mile track. Is it still active? I guess it is. Looks like it is. Monza Oval. Yeah, there you go. The one dislike is probably the guy I timed out. Hey, he was talking trash about Matt Kenseth. I believe in free speech, but Matt Kenseth, there's this. The First Amendment is freedom of the speech, but see the prologue before we get to all the amendments, the out of the groove amendments. The first official rule is no Matt Kenseth slander. See, it just goes without saying. It doesn't even need to be amendment. That's just like the basis of which the entire Out of the Groove YouTube channel was founded on. So it doesn't even need to be an amendment. It's like it predates the amendments. Yeah, Matt Kenseth is a protected species. That is correct. I'm the only one allowed to be brutally honest about Matt Kenseth sometimes, like last year when I would, point out when he was running very badly. Thank you, Barrett. I appreciate the super chat. Could NASCAR race on the Miami Street Course soon? Let me look up the layout for that. So that's the F1 track, Miami Street Course. What does the layout look like? Have they revealed what the layout will look like? I see it. None of this looks official. Is it this? Oh God. I don't think if this is the correct one. This looks like the correct one. It's got some twisties. It looks a little. I don't know that would be NASCAR's best option. I think what makes the Chicago Street Course realistic is that all the turns are very, there's not a lot of hairpins, super tight turns. It's pretty gradual, pretty consistent. This F1 road course, if this is the correct one that I'm looking at, is might be a little more difficult to maneuver. So I don't know that it would be a great choice for NASCAR, but if they could make some adjustments to it, I think a NASCAR street race in Miami is possible, but I'd also hate them to leave Homestead Miami for a street course there. Homestead Miami is the best intermediate track. I'd rather them run a street course elsewhere and keep Homestead with at least one date. Thank you, Dustin. Mid-Ohio for the Cup race. Why not? Hey, they couldn't get Eldora on the schedule. Ohio fans feeling a little left out over there. No Kentucky anymore either. That was pretty close to Ohio. What do the Ohio fans got over there now? Chicagoland's gone too, so they got Indianapolis? I'm trying to do my geography. I need to look at a U.S. map. What other states are by Ohio? U.S. map. Help me out here. Guess Pocono's not too far. Oh no, it's pretty far. It's a whole state over, like very far. Yeah, Ohio. I guess they have Michigan. That's probably the next closest. Thank you, Barrett. It's got some twisties, Eric Esip. Yeah, that's my assessment of racetracks with tight turns, those twisty turns. Thank you, Nicholas. Are you going to the Nashville race? My second race. Yes, I will be there. That's super duper fun. I hope you have a great time. I hope it's a great race. I will be there. The entire NASCAR Weekly Podcast crew will be there. We're staying at Danny's house the week before. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it, though. I hope to see a whole bunch of y'all there. Thank you, Groovy. Oh, gosh. Refreshed on me. Thank you, Groovy Goose. Am I the Out of the Groove national bird? Absolutely. I don't have a UFO to spin. You should know that. I have a bell. I can ring a bell. That sounds better. Woohoo! But yes, Groovy Goose. The grooviest goose west of the Mississippi. Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate it. Because me being in Ohio would be nice. Yeah, so I'm sure Ohio fans would love a racetrack in Ohio. That's why I keep telling people, I know it's not in Ohio, but it's pretty close to it. I'd love to see Kentucky turned into something a little more exciting. Turn it into a short track, maybe. It's like an hour or so away from Cincinnati, I think, right? Thank you, CC Racing Channel. That's adorable. Thank you, Freddie, with the super chat. I appreciate it. So is Hemrick ever going to win a race, or am I right to assume that there are many others who could perform better in his equipment? He's bringing the big guns out here. I didn't expect to see a hotly contested Daniel Hemrick merit debate tonight. See, I like Daniel Hemrick. He doesn't make stupid decisions that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe somebody can point me an example of him doing something stupid, but he feels like he doesn't usually make stupid decisions. He's a very steady, consistent driver. That's what he did a couple years ago in RCR equipment. Basically, top 5 of the field to a championship 4 appearance. Almost won the title without a win. But I'm with you. Daniel Hemrick has not won any significant races in more than 10 years, I believe. I remember I had to do research for him on him a while back. And like, he won a big Legends car, big Legends car race, the big one at Charlotte, I think in 2010. And that honestly might be the last time he went to victory lane in any significant race. It is what it is. He's consistent. He doesn't tear up equipment, but he doesn't win. He has not won, and he's been in some pretty good cars. So I was shocked when Joe Gibbs put him in that 18 car. I think because they just, who else were they going to put? Ty Gibbs wasn't quite ready yet, although now he's kind of showing that maybe he was. But I think Hemrick also brought some sponsorship, like Poppy Bank and whatever, some of the other ones. Like some of those sponsors, I'm pretty sure he brought over from RCR. So that helps. I'm sure that helped make that decision a little bit easier. Thank you, Edible Giraffe. I appreciate. Talladega Turn 3 should be called Calamity Corner. I think they could do that for Daytona as well. I think especially with this current rules package, the field just always comes together. They pack together right then at the end of the straightaway. That's when the speed is the highest. That's when they've had the longest amount of time to just sit in the draft and suck. They're on each other by the time they get into the entrance of Turn 3. So that's when, bump drafts go awry quickly. Yeah, they need some more good nicknames for turns at tracks. Like the Tums Heartburn turn at the Roval caught on very, very quickly. We need more clever names like that. Like, we've got things like the Darlington Stripe. That's cool. Long Pond Straightaway at Pocono. That's kind of cool. What are some other good nicknames at tracks for like parts of tracks? The bus stop at Watkins Glen. Kind of cool, I guess. But we need more. We need more heartburn turns. We need more clever names. The tunnel turn. See, Pocono's got some good ones. The tunnel turn's pretty good. The Alabama Gang Super Stretch. That's a good name. I forgot about that one. That's nice. Canada Quarter at Road America. That's good. The Dog Leg at Phoenix. Okay, now there's more than I guess we thought, but like none of them have as good a names as the heartburn turn, though. Carousel at Sonoma. NASCAR Dippin' Sauce Tunnel Turn. I see that NASCAR Dippin' Sauce. What does NASCAR Dippin' Sauce taste like? What kind of sauce is it? What Turn 3 at Pocono? Pocono honestly has That's one thing Pocono has going for it. The naming conventions at Pocono are pretty spectacular. Like, tracks themselves have good nicknames, like, the Last Great Coliseum, the Paperclip. Well, that's kind of lame. Paperclips aren't really that cool. I mean, it is what the track looks like, but like, you can't. There's really no way to say the word paperclip and make it sound cool. Paperclip. Like, that's just kind of dumb. But I'm not talking about just like overall tracks. I'm talking about like specific areas of tracks. Like the S's at Watkins Glen. Although that's just what that type of the track is called. I mean, other tracks have S's as well. I'm shocked that over the years, like, did Chicagoland Speedway never have a name for its back straightaway? Like, it's the most unique back straightaway in any NASCAR track, and I don't think it had a name. Did it? Did it have a name? Like anything? Like, I don't know, the curvy shoot. I don't know. The straightaway turn. All right, never mind. It's hard to come up with a good name. Chicago Shoot. I like that. That's what I was going for. That's a good one, Andrew. They should have had a good name for it like that. What's with the suit? I was filming a special video for tomorrow, and I didn't want to take it off. I figured I'd surprise you guys. Like we're on a date. Chicagoland doesn't deserve a nickname. That's harsh. That's kind of harsh. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate it. You need to be on Fox with that suit. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad people are enjoying the suit look. I don't know when I got this suit. I probably got the suit in high school, but it still fits. So I like it. I'll take it. What's the special occasion? Oh, just felt like it. Well, you'll see tomorrow. There's a special video tomorrow. Everyone always assumes I'm drinking it. It's just water. It's water. Okay, I'm afraid it's going to spill. You see, it's just water. You can see it in there. Just water. Just spill it all over my computer. Stream crashes. Call turn 1 at Texas the trash turn. Y'all are so mean to Texas. Just beating the poor place down. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it. Going to my first Bristol night race and first time ever at Bristol Motor Speedway in September. Any tips? Ooh, you're going to have a good time, I think. Yeah, the Bristol night races can't miss. I mean, it's hard to say exactly what's going to be going on by, I guess September as far as COVID, as far as what's going to be around the track. But I know usually there's a whole town, a whole neighborhood basically right there around Bristol Motor Speedway. So you're going to want to get there early enough to be able to visit some of the kind of third-party vendor tents, sometimes get some cool deals on kind of classic merchandise. So I would get there early so you have the chance to check a lot of that stuff out. As far as the race itself, I'd sit here trying to think, like most tracks I'd say, oh, you should try to sit here or sit there for a better view. But at Bristol, as far as I can tell, there's really not a bad seat in the house. So I think you just have a good time. Just enjoy it. Just kind of sit back and bask in the glory that is the Last Great Coliseum, and have fun. That's the best I can offer. I mean, like other specific things, I don't know how parking will work. I know often they have like a parking lot pretty close to the track that I think sometimes costs like $10. I don't know. I've never parked far away from the track, so I don't know what some of the other parking situations look like. I don't know, kind of just to figure it out. I don't know. Sorry, I don't have a lot of help there. I did do I've done vlogs there for the last 2 times I've been. Once in 2019 and then once last year. So go check out my channel. Just type in my name and Bristol, and you'll probably see him. Might give you an idea of what you can expect. That's true. Bristol is loud. I see AS Esco Automotive is saying Bristol is loud. So if this is your first time at Bristol and you think you can get away without like some sort of ear protection, you probably don't want to risk it. It's probably going to be louder than you'd like it to be. So you should probably rock some headphones or something. Thank you, Nicholas Blair. I appreciate it. I worry if Nashville doesn't have a good finish, people will consider it a failure/boring race. Thoughts? I'm not that worried about the finish. I think people are going to take the race. I would broaden that more to just if the race is kind of boring, that fans will lose their excitement about Nashville, or fans in the Nashville area will kind of, be down on NASCAR, and that could hurt the fairgrounds renovation plans. I think a boring finish is just, you want an exciting finish for sure, but I'd be more concerned that just the track it's been sitting mostly quiet for 10 years. I know they've been doing a lot. It sounds like they've been bringing out like the tire dragon and things to try and rubber up parts of the track. It's concrete. It's a different surface than most other racetracks. I would just worry that it's going to be like a one groove track and that it's just difficult to pass, and that the racing from start to finish just isn't going to be that exciting. That would be my concern. I'm not as worried about the finish. The finish is just going to be what it is. I'm just worried that from stage 1 to stage 3, there's just not going to be a lot of great action, and that's going to, irritate some fans. It's going to be a little bit of a letdown, but they are running the 750 package, so people won't be complaining about aero issues as frequently as they might be otherwise. So at least there's that. We'll see. I think it's fair to be concerned. That is I think there's a reason that when everyone asks what races are you most looking forward to this year, it's like, oh, I'm excited about the Bristol Dirt Race because it's new, excited about the Circuit of Americas because it's new. Nashville's new, but you don't hear many people getting that excited about it. I think just because, one, they prefer the fairgrounds, and two, it's a 1 1/3 mile oval, and I don't think many fans are really begging for more 1 1/3 mile ovals. Like, it's interesting. It could be great. It could also be kind of and fans aren't really sure. So I think that's why fans are kind of tentatively excited for it, very cautious about it, I would say. What is your favorite NASCAR track? Probably Bristol. It's Bristol. Why are you so dressed up? I was filming a video before this, and I want to keep it on. You'll see more of the suit tomorrow. Eric, I just won a COTA sweepstakes. Woo, congratulations, Kyle. Any must-do things in that area? Like right around the track, there's like nothing. There's the airport, but the track's only like 20 minutes from downtown or so. So, in Austin, see the Texas State Capitol. I think it's like the biggest, it's like the only state capitol building that's like as big as the U.S. Capitol or something like that. It's like, I don't know. So it's a pretty big building. It's right there in downtown. Austin's very pretty and a lot of great food. Got to try out some tacos somewhere. I don't know if you're a party kind of guy, go hang out at 6th Street the night before. Just go nuts, go to town. You're going to the Kansas race, Ty? Have fun. Is it bigger than the U.S. Capitol? Shoot, I don't know. Is it? Wait, let me Google this. Because that might be right, actually. Is the Texas State Capitol bigger than the U.S. Capitol? Okay, wait. So the Texas State Capitol has the most square footage of all state capitals, and it's the second biggest after the U.S. Capitol. But it is taller than the U.S. Capitol. However, it is only the 6th tallest. So, okay, there's other state capitals that are taller than Texas, and they're all taller than the Washington, D.C. State Capitol, including Texas. But when it comes to like actual size and stuff, U.S. Capitol is number 1, then Texas, then every other state. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking of the square footage, but height, it is bigger than the state capitol as far as just sheer height. Good for you, Texas. I lived in Austin for 3 years, and that building is huge. It's a cool color, too. If anyone going to Austin, the state capitol is an interesting looking building. I haven't been in the state capitol in a while, but from the outside, it's like kind of almost a brown, like burnt orange look. It kind of matches the Longhorns next door, Have you ever met Garrett Smithley? Yes, he was on the show last year during the Pro Invitational. He talked to us for a little while. Or I think he was just on Out of the Group, actually, so he talked to me for a little while. He was a nice guy. Can't remember what we really talked about, to be honest. But I remember thinking he was nice. Thank you, Lewis. Glad you like it. You haven't been to a race since 2018? Better get there sooner rather than later. Do you think 2311 will make the playoffs? Spots are filling up quick. There's technically only, this may shock you guys, there's only 7 spots still even open. And when you think about Hamlin, who's probably locked in anyways, but, Harvick hasn't won yet. Kyle Busch hasn't won yet. Almirola's not won. Chase Elliott's not won. The RCR cars haven't won. Ganassi cars haven't won. There's a lot. Still a lot of guys that haven't won yet. I've not met Dale Earnhardt Jr. Not even like in passing. Not even just like high-fived him as he walked by at a race or something. No, I have not met Dale Earnhardt Jr. No, I'm not going to a wedding. I was filming a special Out of the Groove before I went live. Y'all will see it tomorrow. Expectations for Coda? I really don't know. I really do not know. I think it'll be decent. I think it'll be kind of chaotic. I think there'll be a lot of spins. I don't think we'll see a lot of cautions. There's a lot of space for cars to spin out but not bring out full course yellows at Coda. So I don't know that we'll get a lot of cautions, but there's going to be, I feel like it's going to be chaotic. The elevation changes are different. The kind of S's there, I guess after turn 1, I know they're going to put turtles and stuff in place to ensure they don't cut the track, but that's like just wide open, free range over there. It's going to be wild. Opinions on Chase Briscoe? He's super duper talented. He proved that last few years in Xfinity. I wish the results were better this year. I thought it was interesting in the talking to the media a couple weeks ago. He basically admitted that these days it takes him about 75% of the race just like to get used to the track and used to the car, and then kind of that final sprint is when he's really able to go for it. And I think that's a lot of that's the result of no practice or qualifying. But I hope that he continues to improve. He's a little older than your average rookie these days, but I think that could benefit him at least in the short term. So we'll see how he does. We'll see how he does going forward. I'm optimistic. I do think, when you say someone won 9 times in Xfinity the year before, that's like, oh, they must be like the next Jeff Gordon. Like, holy crap. The Xfinity series is not as difficult, is not as competitive today or the last 3 or 4 years as it was, even 10 years ago when Cup guys were constantly racing in it against you, when there were more teams, more competitive teams in Xfinity. Like, no disrespect to guys who've won races the last couple of years, but I think it's clear that the Xfinity series is not as competitive as it was 10 years ago. I don't think that's controversial to say. I don't think that is at all. I mean, I think about 2019 when Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, and Cole Custer won a ton of races. Chase Briscoe, didn't he have like 1 win that year? Noah Gragson went winless. And then those 3 guys left the Xfinity series at the same time. And then in 2020, all of a sudden, Noah Gragson wins a couple races. Briscoe wins a whole bunch. It's like, well, probably helped that the 3 best drivers from the year before all retired, or didn't retire, but got promoted. So I think it's safe to say that this is not the most competitive Xfinity series field that we've ever seen. So while the 9 wins are impressive, if it's not as impressive as, say, if, Brad Keselowski had won 9 races in 2008. Holy moly, that would have been amazing. Have you ever farted at a racetrack? I have. I probably have too. Shit, I don't know. It's an interesting question. Yes, I will be at Coda. Have you ever seen Cody Ware in person? Probably. I've never met him. I've probably at least seen him, even from just like a distance. I don't know. I'll be looking out for it, Ty. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, racing in Xfinity is very competitive, very fun. It's just the actual talent, the actual quality of the cars racing each week is, collectively is less than it once was, and I think the caliber of drivers, since there's not as many Cup guys dipping down each week, is not as good as it once was. It's not as hard to win in Xfinity now as it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Your Matt Kenseth jersey is rad. Thank you. I got that on eBay a few years ago. I haven't worn it in a while because it kind of fits me awkwardly, but I was feeling myself the other day. I've noticed a lot of people in the comments pointed it out. How do I convince my wife to go to a NASCAR race? Any ideas? Well, I don't know your wife personally, so I'm not sure. I can't really tailor this to be like, oh, well, honey, they have, this there that I know you like. It's gonna be difficult since I don't know you guys personally. I think you should just, you could just tell her that you're going to somewhere else, and then just go to the race instead. She might be suspicious because she'll notice that you're wearing like a Chase Elliott t-shirt. She might be like, why are you wearing a Chase Elliott t-shirt? I thought we were going to the park. Like, why are you, that's kind of loud for just going to the grocery. Like, why are you wearing that shirt? Like, so she might catch on. So this may not be a good strategy, but you just, well, why'd you bring those scanners? Like, we're just going to the store. Like, what? So it may not work, but I don't think she'll be upset when she actually watches the race, because NASCAR races are super fun. It's terrible advice. Don't take my advice, but I've never had to do that. I've never had to try and convince somebody to go to a race. I mean, that's not entirely true. I've never had to convince a woman to go to a race, but I've had like a friend who I wanted to take to a race, and he was kind of like, I kind of got some other stuff to do, and I was was like, nah, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be this. It didn't work. He didn't go to the race. So I'm not the right person to ask when it comes to trying to convince somebody to a race. Steven just says, just take her. Yeah, what's she going to do? Just like on the freeway, tuck and roll, hops out of the car, just runs home. Thank you, Race Champ 22. Quinn Houff is the legend, 8 championships and 201 wins. Imagine if that were ever to happen. How's it going, Darian? Good to see you. Thank you, Groovy Goose. Do you like or do you dislike Jeff Gordon since he pushed Kenseth? I didn't really like him at the time, no. I didn't think that was entirely justified, but I had a period of time where I didn't really like Jeff Gordon that much. I think because I saw Jeff Gordon race. So I started watching in 2004. He won his last race, or championship, sorry, in 2001. And so from like 2005 to about 2010, like really forever, I just be constantly shoved in my face about how great Jeff Gordon was. But every year I'm like, oh, he's good. Like some years, like 2007, it's like, oh yeah, he is really good. But I was just like, he's good, but like I just don't see it. I never saw the all-time great Jeff Gordon that everybody else saw in the 90s. I just didn't see it. So I always thought Jeff Gordon was slightly overhyped more often than not. But I didn't like really dislike Jeff Gordon that much. When Jeff Gordon blew his tire and collected Kenseth at Bristol in 2013, yeah, I was very disappointed. I wasn't mad at anybody. I was just really disappointed that it happened because Kenseth had the best car that day. I was going to win another Bristol race. Thank you, Jay Booker, with the 10. That gold and yellow super chat. I appreciate it. Shout out from Darlington, South Carolina. Heck yeah. Mark Martin was my favorite driver. Would you like to see Larson or Bowman run an Eagle 1 throwback? And is the Southern 500 on your bucket list to go to? I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that happen. That's awesome that Mark Martin was your favorite driver, though. Love me, Mark Martin. Oh, I don't have it in here anymore. I just moved some stuff around. I had a Mark Martin diecast right there. I could have held up to prove it. It's in the other room now. Anyway, but Southern 500 definitely on my bucket list. I actually met, I'm going to get his name wrong, Kerry Tharp, right? The president of Darlington. I met him a year or two ago, and he was like, we got to get you out to a race sometime. Like, it's going to be fun. That was a terrible impression. And I was like, heck yeah, you don't have to convince me. Like, I know you're the president of Darlington. I know it's your job to try and pitch the track to me. But you don't have to pitch it to me. Like, I want to go to Darlington today. Like, Darlington's amazing. So hopefully one day soon I get to go out to Darlington. I'd rather go for the throwback weekend than the playoff race, assuming it keeps 2 dates. But unfortunately not going to make it out there this year. I got a bunch of other travel plans this summer. But sometime soon, I would like to go to Darlington. That's up there. That is absolutely up there. I got to see the history. I got to see the excitement up close at Darlington. For sure. Thank you, Arcane Draconis. 2 super chats back to back. Rip Underglow for All-Star. Yeah, it was a one and done thing. They brought every other gimmick out for this race this year. Why can they not bring the Underglow back? Why not? Yeah, it's a shame. And then thank you for the other one. Who retires first? 1, 2, 4, or 6. So Kurt Busch, Keselowski, Harvick, or Newman. I would guess Kurt Busch. I think Kurt Busch has the best chance of retiring at the end of this season. But Newman could as well. Newman could quietly do it as well. Thank you for trolling, Darian. Sleep nice. How to get girls to like you? Wear a suit and stream by yourself on a Friday night. No, what's night? Thursday. Never mind. It's Thursday night. I still have my Friday and Saturday nights open to go, hit the town. I'm not hitting the town. I'm hanging out in my apartment watching the truck race Saturday night by myself, more than likely. That's how you do it, boys. Thank you, Jake. Eric, you're looking like a full course meal tonight. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think that's a compliment. Very much appreciate it. Make me feel a little weird now, but I appreciate that nonetheless. Very kind. Very kind. I hope I look good. I haven't even looked at the footage that I filmed before for tomorrow's video. I hope I look good there. My lighting sometimes gets a little harsh. Eric looks pretty delicious. That's very, very, very off-putting. Thank you. Will you bring back the fluff for throwback weekend? I don't think I can grow it fast enough. It grows pretty quick, and it's getting kind of fluffy, but I don't think, no, you're not going to see anything close to the fluff by next week, I guess. Thank you, Steven. Kurt and Kyle don't win. If Kurt and Kyle don't win the Bushy McBush race, I'll be sad. Or Harvick. Harvick's probably going to have a Bush Beer car this weekend, I would assume. But yeah, this race literally has Kurt and Kyle's name on it. So that would be a bit of a bummer if they don't win. They're probably not going to win either, so it's going to be a shame. Who on earth voted for the Bushy McBush race? Like, anyone here, did any of you actually vote for it? Like, I don't remember what the other options were, but goodness gracious. Are you proud of yourself for voting this? Are you proud of this? Steven, you did it? Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, Chris Buescher. It's got Bush. It's not spelled quite the same way, but it's got Bush in the name. Raphael? No way. Can't believe so many of you guys voted for this silly name. What's your favorite kind of music? Just probably rock and the many variations of it. I'm not some sort of music snob. I don't know how best to describe I listen to dreamy, indie, ethereal rock. I don't know what that's not even a thing. I just like guitars. Sometimes I like heavy guitars. Sometimes I like very light, dainty guitars. But I like that. Anything with a driving rhythm, I'm there for. My girlfriend doesn't like NASCAR. That's a problem. That is a problem. I'm dressed like I could be like a psychiatrist or a therapist or like a counselor. So let's counsel. Let's the relationship advice here. If your girlfriend doesn't like NASCAR, you do what I said earlier. You take her to a race without her knowing it and surprise her. You force it. You gotta force the issue. If she doesn't appreciate cars going in circles like you, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, Ghost is probably my favorite band still. I think they're supposed to come out with a new album this year. I hope they do. It's been a little while. Listen to Starset. I feel like I've heard of them, but maybe not. Eric, you look like a mob boss. I don't know about that. I just noticed my Navy suit kind of blends in with the Navy background. That was poor planning on my part. Didn't really think about that. How much do you read the comments? During live stream, I read most of them. Yeah, actually, during my videos, I read most of them as well. Why do you think Kenseth struggled last season? I think completely different rules package mixed with no practice. I think he just did his crew chief. Originally they were running Kyle Larson setups in the car, and Kyle Larson known for hanging it out loose, dirt tracking it around places. I don't think that was ever going to fit with Matt Kenseth. So that was a mistake at the beginning. And then they just never really had time to work together, especially no time on track to work together to make it better. So I just think that was really what it came down to. Eric Eastep, the lawyer. Yeah. There we go. Were you injured in an 18-wheeler accident? Call Eric, the groovy gangbuster. I don't know. I don't know any name for it. I don't know why I have the bell either. The bell's not really intimidating. That doesn't really strike fear into the hearts of criminals. Do you think Alex Bowman stays in the 48 long term? I'll be curious to see what they sign. Because, if Hendrick was sure that Ally likes Bowman, why would he have not signed him to a multi-year deal last offseason? Why'd they only sign him to a one-year deal this year? Like, this year feels like a tryout for Ally. Ally seems to like him, so hopefully that means they'll sign like a 2-year extension and he'll at least last until Ally's contract is up. We'll see. We'll see, though. Is that your Christopher Bell? No, yeah. No, it's my Hollywood Tower Hotel Bell. Who else could drive the 48? Man, I do not know, which is why I think Bowman will sign an extension, but it could only be a 1-year deal. We'll see. We will see. I really expected Ross to bring the 42 back up towards the top 10, but for some reason he hasn't really been there. I think kind of the same issue Kenseth had last year. No practice, difficult to gel with a new crew chief. And, I think Ross Chastain's a good driver. I don't think he's necessarily amazing. I don't think he's as good as like Kurt Busch, who consistently, I think, outperforms that equipment more often than not. I don't know. Chastain's run about how I thought he'd run this year. I hope they improve later this season, and I hope next year with practice they take big strides forward. I assume his crew chief is still, they got rid of, I'm forgetting all their names now, Chad Johnston. They fired Chad Johnston in the middle of last season and replaced him with Phil Surgeon. I think it's still Phil Surgeon there. So you also have a pretty inexperienced crew chief working with Chastain as well. It's kind of the double whammy there. New driver, newish crew chief. No practice to figure it out, My girlfriend doesn't like NASCAR. Needless to say, we weren't together for very long. Well, there's more to life than just NASCAR. But yeah, that is kind of that's a difficult one to overcome. Eric, become a New York Islanders fan. Hockey? You come into my dojo and demand that I support your hockey team? I don't know anything about hockey. You don't want me supporting your team. I'll make your fan base look like bandwagoners because I won't know what I'm talking about. That's spooky. Do you guys see this? Right underneath Dustin's super chat, which thank you, Dustin. I don't know if this is the same for everybody, but Noah and Jesus, I guess, left the exact same comment back to back. You guys see that, right? You guys see the comments? That's spooky stuff. This is like cult mentality. That's freaky. You guys see that, right? The Noah Coleman and Jesus Gonzalez. That's kind of creepy. Why would you guys both make that comment at like the same time? That's really creepy. Nobody said that. Yeah, that's creepy. Okay, now everyone in the chat's saying it too. So y'all see it. Y'all see it too, I think. Yeah, y'all see it too. Spooky. Y'all creeping me out here. Whoa. But thank you for the super chat, Dustin. I appreciate it. Top 3 restarters in the Cup Series right now. Where's my boy David Smith? Where's I say my boy? I've never met him, but he does a good podcast. Where's David NASCAR's life? Just filling up the chat. That's funny. Motorsport Analytics, because they have like an actual like formula to determine a lot of this. I don't know the formula. I don't know the exact rankings they have there, but if I had to guess just by eyeballing it, I would imagine Kyle Busch is a pretty good restarter, typically. I would also imagine Joey Logano is a pretty solid restarter as well. There's 2 different ways to kind of watch for restarts. There's guys who are aggressive and are able to like gain positions, but there's also like retention, like guys who are able to, they often restart in the first or second, third place, but they're able to hold on to their position. They're able to retain their position as well. I feel like Logano, Keselowski, Hamlin would probably be really good at that. But when it comes to like going on the attack, going on the offensive, I would imagine Larson, Kyle Busch, those who I would imagine would be high up. So I don't know. Top 3, I'd probably put like Kyle Busch, Logano. There's someone I'm forgetting. There's like a really well-known great restarter. Who am I forgetting? Harvick's had some crazy restarts in the past. I don't know. That's a tough one. Where did the Fusion front bumper come from? That's from Matt Kenseth's 2018 Wyndham Rewards number 6 car. That's from the show car that they used to announce his return. Thank you, Max. I appreciate the super chat. Do you think Stuart Haas's NASCAR struggles this year stems from Haas F1 struggles the past couple years? I don't know how connected they are. I don't really know either, Max. I don't think like I believe Greg Zipadelli is still like the competition director at SHR of like the NASCAR side, correct? And I imagine he doesn't have any fingers or any hands on the Haas F1 side. So I think the two are still fairly separate, but I think there could be something there. There could be like an allotment of resources that has them a little bit spread thin. I also wonder about like the SRX has some of their attention diverted elsewhere. And you might say, oh, that's just Tony Stewart's thing, but I think Stuart Haas, some people around Stuart Haas that work around there are probably also somewhat involved in that. So keep that in mind as well. I'm not sure what the real reason for the struggles are, quite honestly. I think it's been some slight adjustments in the rules or in the inspection process from last year to this year that kind of threw SHR for a loop, and they haven't figured it out yet. I believe it was Rodney Childers who said they altered something slightly about like the left rear wheel openings. And aerodynamically, I guess that was an advantage for SHR last year that they have not been able to work around so far this year, is what it really sounds like. Could there could they be linked somehow, and that's preventing them from spending enough time to research and develop a new workaround here? I have no idea. Thank you for the $1 NASCAR Dippin' Sauce. I appreciate the name. I can't really see the thumbnail very well, but that looks. Are those like hands? Let me see. Can I make that bigger? What is this? Can I zoom in? What is that? It's like fingers like dipping something into like a tub. It's small. It's pixelated, unfortunately, so I can't see it very well, but that's a good profile picture. Thank you. Thank you, Arcane Draconis. I appreciate it. Which team would you say is the next multi-car superpower to compete with Hendrick, Gibbs, Penske for wins on a regular basis outside of the four at SHR this decade? If Larson had stayed with Ganassi, I know they're they're only a two-car team, but I would have thought maybe Ganassi could continue to build forward, get a little bit faster. But Larson's gone. Kurt Busch could be gone after this year. I'm not feeling Ganassi. 2311 Racing is going to have a shot just because they do have a lot of the same support Joe Gibbs is getting. I'd watch Colleague. Colleague says they're going to go cup racing next year. Who their driver will be, we don't know yet. But I'd watch Colleague over the next few seasons. Are they able to expand? Are they able to put out cars that are competitive? Like right now, it sounds like if next year their cars will be maybe like RCR or Trackhouse level, which isn't bad, but obviously isn't super team yet. So we'll see. We'll see how quickly they can get their feet under them. But right now, if I was a betting man, I'd probably pick, as the safe bet, I'd probably pick 2311. That's what I would say. Yeah, Kurt Busch did say he wants to drive the next gen, but I believe he said that before the next gen got delayed that year. I think he said that a long time ago. So I don't know. I don't know if anyone's asked him recently. Will Ricky Stenhouse Jr. make the playoffs? I said he wouldn't a couple weeks ago, but he's hanging in there better than I thought he would. I thought he'd already be out. He's still like 14th or 15th. But he finally, at Talladega this weekend, finally finished outside the top 20 for the first time all season. And it wasn't even his fault. Do you think Chad Knaus will get another championship? I mean, he's technically the competition director of Hendrick, so yeah. So basically, if any of the four Hendrick cars wins, he wins. I don't think he's ever going back crew chiefing, though, so he's not going to win like that. Who's the worst 7-time champion? Oh, gosh. Honestly, I don't know. I'd probably say Richard Petty. If I was just going to say who actually is, because, just completely different era. The competition level in Petty's era wasn't quite what it was during Earnhardt's, and especially not during Johnson's era. Johnson had some wacky formats for sure, and I'm not denying that Richard Petty is the GOAT. I consider Richard Petty to be the greatest driver of all time, but as far as the best, like most talented, I would probably pick a Jimmy Johnson or even like a Jeff Gordon or even perhaps a Dale Earnhardt before then. So that's sort of my hot take. I don't even know if that's that hot. It's a difficult debate or discussion to even have just because of very widely different eras. Do you think BJ McLeod is the most overrated driver in NASCAR history? No, I don't feel like nobody's talking about BJ McLeod. Thank you, Mark. Looking very classy indeed. Absolutely. We're going for about 90 minutes. We'll start to wrap things up. I still have the size of the Texas State Capitol pulled up in this tab over here. I'm closing that. That's distracting me. Is Michael McDowell an underrated driver? Everyone always forgets about him at super speedways. I hope that Daytona 500 win finally puts that to rest. Everywhere else, I think he's okay. He's good at road courses. Thank you, Otis. Kurt Busch to 2311 for 1 year? Ooh. I'd be shocked. I don't think it happens. I would be surprised. No, I don't think he does that for 1 year. I don't think he'd do that. What's his connection to Hamlin? Like, does he have any? He doesn't have any connection to Bubba. He has no connection to Toyota. I don't think he has any real connection to Hamlin. So, I don't think he'd do that. No. I can't imagine. Maybe. I don't see why 2311 would want him for just 1 year. Like, why? When you have all these other Toyota drivers that you could give track time, seat time to. You could give Burton some seat time. You could give John Hunter seat time. You know, I don't see why 2311 would necessarily do it unless he's bringing like full-on Monster Energy sponsorship. I hate this camera. You can't really like see the guitar. I'm too close. You look like you belong on Race Hub with that suit. Thank you, St. Denny. Very dapper indeed. Yep. I appreciate that. This is my audition. We need Larry McReynolds. Can Larry McReynolds play guitar? I feel like Larry McReynolds plays guitar. He has to, right? He just looks like he does. I want to see him break out into song on Race Hub one day. Thank you, Icy, for the $1. I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for that. Thank you for the support. Do a flip? Someone said play Master of Puppets. I think that's correct. I might have gotten some of the notes wrong. I think it's... Oh, that's wrong. It's something like that. I can't play as fast. I'm not that good at guitar. Eric looks like a church choir guitarist. Absolutely. That's funny. Larry Mack on the synth. Thank you, Arcane Draconis. Hot take 43 will compete for wins on a regular basis again before the 3. Agree or disagree? Or a third most iconic active number. The next most iconic active number has to be the 24 of Gordon, for Gordon, that Byron drives now. But that's a hot take. The 43 winning consistently or contending consistently before the 3. I don't know. Austin Dillon made the playoffs last year. I like Eric Jones as much as the next guy, probably more than the next guy. But I don't know if I like him that much. I know I'm gonna say 3. I think the 3 car, because he won last year. The 43 car hasn't won a race since 2014, and it was a rain shortened race at a super speedway. Thank you, NASCAR Dippin' Sauce. Make song for Kurt. What? Make song for Kurt Busch Grandma's grape soda sponsor. What is that? What is that? Grape soda. Kurt Busch's grandma. Drinking soda. The Bushy McBush race. What is it? It's not even a thing. Will you ever bring Dex back? Probably not. Not in its original form, for sure. Think Matty D will try to land Colleague. We'll see. I doubt that. I would be surprised if Kaulig didn't go with one of their more in-house drivers, but you never know. Hey, if Matt DiBenedetto wins 1 or 2 races this year, maybe they'll do it. Can you play Johnny Cash? Do I know any Johnny Cash? I actually did look up the chords. I know it's not his song, but I know the Hurt song by Johnny Cash a little bit. That's a very like emotional song. I'm not gonna sing it, but it's like the. Wait, how's it go? Wait, is that right? No, that's not it. Something like that. I think that's the right notes. Thanks again, Icy. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $1. I don't think I know any Willie Nelson, but I should probably look that up. I don't know that many songs, guys. I just know some chords. I like to just kind of slap this thing occasionally. Just whack it. Whack my guitar. James Davison be on a better team? He's an interesting guy. I don't know enough about James Davison. I know he's an open wheel dude. Also, apparently he's a solid iRacer, or at least decent. I don't know enough about James Davison and what his stock car future may look like it. I need to start looking up NASCAR theme songs or figuring out how to play those. Smash the guitar against the wall? Yeah, that's a bad idea. Might sound good on paper. Not very good in practice. Good night, Allison. My boy went to a dark place. No, it's just being peaceful. It's late night. It's later than usual streams, man. Just like some good mood music. Any info on Fontana? I have no info. I assume they're still turning it into a short track. I am wearing pants. Well, not pants. I'm wearing shorts. But I'm wearing shorts. Gosh. Thank you guys for the super chats. Icy, I appreciate it. SHR doing bad because Tony's investing in SRX? I don't think it's a huge factor. I do know this. I was talking to somebody, and I was asking somebody who I figured would have info on the situation. I was like, if I wanted to talk to somebody about the SRX, like get someone from the SRX, even if it was like not necessarily even Tony Stewart, but just somebody from the SRX. If I wanted to get someone from the SRX onto like Out of the Groove or onto the podcast, something like, who should I contact? And they were like, oh, you should probably just contact Stuart Haas Racing. I was like, really? So like people at SHR are paying attention, are like working on SRX stuff too? I don't know if that's true, but I was like, oh, well, that seems a little weird. So they might be spread a little thin. That's possible. Thank you, Bullet Train. Can you help me with my lawsuit, lawyer? Just plead guilty. That's all I can help you with. I got nothing else. Appreciate you guys watching tonight. We're going to start to wrap up the stream. Hope that guy who wanted me to play guitar earlier is still here. I hope I did him proud. Well, thank you, Ducks the Boss 260. I appreciate it. Hey, Eric, sorry I used your 2020 playoff predictions in one of my NASCAR videos. Sorry for violating your intellectual property. Don't sue me, please. It's because I'm dressed like a lawyer. No, that's fine. I'm coming after anyone. If you even mention my name, any of you who's even used my name in a comment, you're going down. Going down. Ryan's egging me on in the chat. Sue him. Goodness gracious. No, I appreciate the support, Ducks the Boss. Thank you all so much for tuning in to tonight's stream. That's going to do it. Kind of an impromptu, just late night chill-in stream. I've got a special video, part of what the suit is for. That will be coming out tomorrow. That's what I'm about to sit back and edit for the next, several hours. But thank you all for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Felt like a very intimate stream tonight. Felt like we could just chat about whatever. Play some guitar like we're sitting around the campfire. That kind of thing. Beautiful. It's lovely. Lovely. I appreciate the support, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you later this weekend. Got, of course, race review videos and stuff planned as well. See you real soon. Appreciate you guys a ton. Have a good night. Thank you, Icy. NASCAR game stream, I'm not sure. Follow my Twitch. I'll put it in the chat. Twitch.tv/EricIsGroovy. Give me a follow. I might start streaming some games and stuff over there a little more consistently, including NASCAR Heat, perhaps some Rocket League, maybe some other stuff mixed in between. Give it a follow, because I might start streaming over there more frequently. See y'all.